Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I loved it.
My name's Jay Milne. #Blue.
Our sports update deliverer, the Coop.
I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up today.
You know what, Reid? You might be honest.
All right, here's what's going on in the Nasty Cup. Hockey tonight, Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. Your Edmonton Oilers visiting the Florida Panthers. Now, will Ryan Nugent-Hopkins play? Well, game time decision. Expect him to take the warm-up. So a couple of different lineup possibilities, as I see it anyway. If Nugent-Hopkins plays, I would expect Nugent-Hopkins on the left side with McDavid and Perry, Draisaitl centering Kane and Kapanen, Henrique with Frederick and Brown, Janmark with Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Without Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, here is my guess. I think this might have been the same guess Dustin Nielsen had on the Nielsen Show, 6 to 9 a.m. every weekday here on Edmonton Sports Talk. McDavid with Kane and Perry, Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Kapanen, Jeff Skinner into the lineup on the left side with Henrique and Brown, and then Janmark, Frederick, and Arvidsson would be the fourth line. That is my guess if they do not have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I don't think they would go with 7D and bring Stecher into the lineup, so we'll see what happens there. Defensively, based on what they did at yesterday's practice, Nurse with Bouchard, Kulak with Wallman, Ekholm with Klingberg. If they do that, I would think that is to get Kulak back on the left side and maybe thinking that Wallman might be a little more comfortable playing his off wing as the Oilers have, or offside as the Oilers have 4 left shot and 2 right shot D. We'll have plenty of clips for you today when we get into the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel. You're going to hear from Evander Kane. You will hear from Darnell Nurse and also from head coach Chris Knobloch, as well as this best-of-7 series after, what are we at, about 8.5 periods of hockey is tied 1-1. Hope you had a great weekend. Along with Jason Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, presented by Play Alberta. Experience all the excitement of the casino in the palm of your hand. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 using the EST exclusive promo code EST Casino for a $50 casino bonus. Jay, how are you doing?
I'm doing excellent, Reid.
How do you, what are we looking at for the Cat Rats lineup?
The Cat Rats, I like it. You got Barkov centering Carter Verhaeghe and Sam Reinhart. Sam Bennett in between Evan Rodriguez and Matthew Tkachuk. Anton Lundell centering Lou Serenen and Brad Marchand. Thomas Nosek centering back in the lineup AJ Greer and Jonah Gadjevic on defense. You got Forsling and Ekblad, Nico Mikkola, Seth Jones, and Nate Schmidt, who's actually been playing pretty phenomenally.
Very well.
And Dmitry Kulikov, obviously, in net. You're going to have Sergei Bobrovsky.
Both goaltenders in this series, Skinner and Bobrovsky, are 1-1. Bobrovsky a .913 save percentage. Skinner .892. Bobrovsky has faced 92 shots. Skinner has faced 74. They've both allowed 8 goals. Bobrovsky's goals against average is slightly better, 2.86. Skinner's is 2.90 because Skinner was pulled for about 2 minutes in Game 2 on Friday night. All right. Hope everybody's doing great. Man, oh man, we got a lot to get to. We're with you for the next 2 hours. As usual on these 6 o'clock game days, we're going to hand it over to Tom Gazzola, Hernan Salas for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 5 o'clock. Tom today, he's back at Westgate BP, the one by West Edmonton Mall. What would that be? 90th Avenue and 170th Street on the corner there?
Right on the corner.
So Tom will be there. I imagine a lot of people, a lot of our nasties, a lot of Oilers fans will be dropping by for that one. Okay. How was your weekend, my friend?
Weekend was good. Got some yard activity done late yesterday because the whole weekend was basketball, and more basketball. They have a massive facility over here in St. Albert.
Oh, do they?
Right by the Lois Hole Garden Center. It's called Rays. It is a city block long of warehouse space
Oh, wow.
dedicated to pickleball, racket sports, and basketball, volleyball. So yeah, we were from the West End back to our Drawson several times this weekend.
Oh, busy guy. Now, what happened with flag football this weekend?
Flag football was canceled.
Oh, wow.
Yes, due to the smoky conditions. Can't say I'm not. I wasn't heartbroken about it because we were missing two of our really good players.
Oh, okay.
We're having a.
So do these games get made up, or is it just they're not played?
They're supposed to be made up. I think at the end of June, but we'll see. We'll see. We haven't had a rain out yet, so knock on wood.
You only got a couple of weekends left, don't you?
Yeah, this weekend, and it goes to the end of or the 21st. I think the 28th was supposed to be a makeup day.
Okay,
but we'll see. How was your weekend?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Relatively low key. I saw my buddy Zip yesterday, who I talk about. Zip plays wheelchair rugby, and he told me some interesting tales of last weekend. He went to nationals in Montreal. So there were 7 provincial/regional teams, and then an 8th team of at-large players, and that's the team Zip was on. So they just sort of got together, and they said, "Okay, you're from Alberta, but they have a team." So he was on the at-large team. They finished 7th out of 8th, but it sounded like an incredible event, and he told me about some of the marvelous players that there are in wheelchair rugby, which is actually a pretty cool sport to watch.
Yeah.
The gentleman we interviewed a few months ago was at the tournament, and he got to hang out a little bit in Montreal and enjoy some of these sights and sounds, which perhaps might be more for an after-hours show. It is much. Have I said this on this show? I have said it on other shows. I always find it cute when Toronto and Vancouver, we're the best city in Canada. We're the best city in Canada. Everybody else knows it's Montreal. And I love Edmonton. I think Edmonton is great, but I just think when you visit Montreal, you just get a pretty amazing vibe.
I've never been to Montreal, so I don't know.
I think you would like it.
I just hear like it's just like, do you have to be a nightlife fan to appreciate Montreal?
Probably to some extent, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I'm generally not.
Okay, you like to be in bed.
Well,
have supper at 4 p.m.
It's not
some
to say
quiet
that,
reading,
but I'm not
foot soak, and then bed by 7:30.
I mean, maybe a good sports pub.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I mean, clearly the Canadians are big there. So if you went during, and I went to a couple Canadians games, 2010, I want to say, which was pretty cool. I saw them play the Oilers on a Thursday night and the Bruins on a Saturday night. That was pretty fun.
Did we have this conversation? Part of Montreal is an island, correct? Or
yeah, I think most of it might be.
Or most of it?
Yeah.
Apparently getting around Montreal, we used to have a sales rep that would come visit us. Getting around Montreal is the worst. Like, he'd have an hour and a half commute.
Oh,
and
really?
He lived like relatively close to downtown.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Yeah, my buddy told, my buddy, so Zip, and people might, because he's done interviews about stuff, and he was he was a transplant story as well. After he battled meningitis, he needed a kidney transplant. And so he walks with, and he's a double amputee below the knee. So he walks with artificial legs. But he was telling me that he and the gentleman in a wheelchair were getting around Montreal, and they got off at the subway station. They need to get off at no elevator. They have to go to the next subway stop, no elevator. So they had to go like 3 additional stops, get an elevator, and come back. But he had an awesome time. Anyway, maybe we'll have him on in the summer just to tell some of those stories.
Yeah, that would be
Still
great.
might have to do it after hours version. All right, here's how you can get in touch. You can text us at 780-218-9999. The afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Kitchen Restaurant, all-you-can-eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday. That is from 4 to 10 p.m. You can email j@edmontonsportstalk.com and or read@edmontonsportstalk.com. We already have a couple limericks submitted through email. You can send us other messages if you want there as well. You can tune in audio streams, use the apps iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, go to edmontonsportstalk.com. You can also listen and watch if you like on YouTube. Just look for Edmonton Sports Talk on YouTube. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, please do so. Then you'll get all our videos, recommended to you. They'll just pop up right away when you go into YouTube. There's a chat going there. We call it the nasty chat, but you don't have to be nasty to get in there. Talk with us, more importantly, with each other. And if you are on YouTube, give us a like. Click the Fonzie button, the thumbs up underneath the video screen. We have an incredible streak of getting to 200 thumbs every show during the postseason, except once, oddly enough, at the beginning of the Western Conference Final. So give us the click there. Don't delay. Get in there and do it. This show is shorter today, so the thumbs reset every show. So we're at 40, so pretty good. So we're 1/5 of the way there. One-fifth of the way there, only 10 minutes into the show, which is pretty good. But don't delay. Get in there and click. Oh, right. I got to do the thing.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb.
All right, there it is. So for the people who wait to hear that every day, it has now been played. So you can get in there and give us a thumbs up. All right. So another incredible game on Friday. And now these teams go at it again tonight. You heard my potential lines without Nuge. Do you think that's what they do? Do you think Kane goes up there?
I think that makes the most sense. Also, with Podkolzin being elevated, he's already played with Draisaitl for the better part of the regular season. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be some chemistry there. But yeah, I don't know what to think about Nuge, given that he was a very mild participant in morning skate.
Right.
At the end of morning skate.
Yep.
As Tom Gazzola alluded to on the hangout, that doesn't bode well for him being in the lineup tonight.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is next man up kind of mentality. And who's going to get that chance? I mean, for Evander Kane, I do not mind him being elevated to the first line. I think that can add a lot of grit. I mean, Evander Kane's been playing quietly very well.
Yes.
Throughout this postseason. So it's honestly, the big question still comes to that third line. I mean, that hasn't changed at all, but are they going to be able to get things done tonight? They have been somewhat quiet with Henrique, Frederick, and Connor Brown.
Yep.
And then obviously you figure you're going to put in Jeff Skinner on the fourth line.
Well, no, I'd put him with. Well, I guess those lines maybe are lines 3 and 4 maybe are interchangeable. But yeah, I would think Skinner would go in with Henrique and Brown if Nugent-Hopkins can't play. It's been a great series. I get the sense that there's maybe, I don't know if concern is the right word, but I think the way that Florida dominated that second period in Game 2, and they did in Game 1 as well, but I thought they really dominated in Game 2, and Edmonton couldn't get a lot going. Maybe there's a little more concern. Look, Edmonton is going to land some punches in this series as well. I think the Florida Panthers have a lot to be worried about as well. But that was a second period on Friday that made the Edmonton Oilers look clumsy at times. You know, couldn't get the puck out, had trouble getting it out when they could get it. But, they kept it within a goal, and they tied it late, and then it's anybody's game in overtime.
Well, and you talk about lineup changes. I still am kind of lost as to why, and now who's to say this is how it's going to go come game time, but why the defensive pairing changes. I understand what you said, but, and I think a lot of Oilers fans would share the sentiment that seeing Darnell Nurse and Evan Bouchard together raises some questions because they were quite inconsistent at times.
Yeah, there's the concern that they're a high event pairing in both ends of the ice.
Yeah.
I know, and I know we don't always use these stats, but I know there are some decent analytical stats, advanced stats to support them being together. Bouchard clearly is different in the postseason. Again, I just wonder if it comes down to, okay, somebody has to play his offside, and maybe they think Wallman's going to be better at it than Kulak on that side. I mean, Kulak, when Ekholm came back in Game 5, Kulak moved to the right side. Maybe his worst game of the playoffs.
Sure.
And Kulak's obviously, and I'm not saying he was bad, but usually he's pretty solid and safe. Like usually with Kulak is the worst case scenario is you don't notice him. And then if he has a good game, he makes a few plays or gets a few shots through. So I would guess that what it is, but of course, like anything else, this could change at the start of the game. I think that Well, what do you think of not having Draisaitl and McDavid together? Do you think we talked about this. I think it's better to go to that during the game.
Yes.
Or have Maurice knowing, well, he's still got that in his back pocket.
Yes.
They can put these guys out together.
100%. And it'll happen. It often happens after a PK or at specific times during the game. So it will happen. But this team, if they're going to win the Stanley Cup, need to have those two dedicated lines rolling on their own, which I think they're more than capable of. They've proven they can. But in certain instances, if you need to go nuclear,
right,
the option's there.
Okay, let's dive into a couple things here. It is a game day, so we are going to do the Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Game. You're trying to win a $25 gift card to Hudson's Canada's Pub. You're invited down tonight for the Oilers game. You can also join them Fridays and Saturdays after 9 p.m. Late night happy hour specials, food starting at $4, drinks from $3.75. Book your reservation now at hudsonscanadaspub.com. So here's how this works. I give out a series of clues over the course of the show. We only accept guesses submitted on the text line, the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox, 780-218-9999. As soon as somebody gets it right, it's over. They win. We stop giving clues. We explain the clues and we announce the winner. But here's the thing, maximum 3 guesses per person. So you can't just spam, 20 guesses as soon as I say the first clue. You might want to pick your spots here. And the first clue is Canadian. Okay? The first clue is Canadian. Pretty simple. Well, the clue is simple. I don't know if people will think the mystery athlete is simple or not, but the clue is Canadian. A-N at the end, okay? C-A-N-A-D-I-A-N.
I'm always intrigued to see what guesses come in early.
Yeah, because a lot of people will use their first guess early, just hoping, okay, maybe I'm going to hit the Hail Mary.
A flyer. Well, usually, honestly, Reid, they think they've got you beat. They think that they're better than you today.
Well, they may be.
Maybe they will. I doubt it.
All right. Yeah, this one, well, I told you who it was before I gave you the clues. But I think if I gave you the clues, you might have been stumped. Though the 5th clue, if we get there, is your suggestion.
Yeah.
If we get there. I don't think we'll get there. I honestly think somebody might figure this one out after the 2nd clue. But we'll see.
I do too.
Last time, we had a short show on Friday, and we had to... we were hoping to give it away late in the show. So we'll see. This is fun. First clue, Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Game is Canadian. All right. We're about 3 hours away from game time. Oilers and Panthers. Again, Jay and I are with you until 5. At 5 o'clock, it's the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Our off-topic topic is presented by William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website, williamhuff.com, or give them a shout, 780-454-4536. So the off-topic topic... have you ever taken a trip/vacation to Florida? And what's your review?
Wow. I've been to Florida once.
For?
Grade 12 basketball trip.
Playing?
Yeah.
Okay.
We went to Tampa.
Oh, no way.
We flew all the way down there and we got waxed in our first game.
Okay.
They don't have a shot clock. It was like 21-2.
Oh, they didn't have a shot clock at all, so
No.
they just pass it around for...
And I've told this
That's
before,
frustrating.
but the second game, the opponent we faced, Morinville.
You went to Tampa
Yeah.
to play, and you were what, Sal or Facey? I can't remember. You were Facey.
Sherwood Park. And
And you played a team that'd be what, 30 kilometers away,
40 minutes
maybe
away.
a little bit longer. Yeah,
I do remember there was a Waffle House at the
that's
hotel
amazing.
we stayed at.
I don't think you have told me that before. I don't remember that. I feel like I
terrible.
remember that.
Maybe I told it on another show, but yeah, went all the way to Florida to Tampa to play. And they don't call it Tampa Bay if you're there. They call it Tampa.
And St. Pete, because the Tampa Bay is the body of water.
That's right.
So that they name the teams Tampa Bay to not show favoritism to either of the two cities there.
St. Petersburg.
Right.
Yeah.
But Tampa Bay makes it sound like Tampa is being favored if you don't
And they
live there.
have a causeway. I believe that's what it's called.
Okay.
Like a man-made road through water. Like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? It's not they didn't make a bridge, but I don't know. Maybe I'm mixing it up. But I do remember throwing stale waffles off the balcony window on our last night.
Hitting anybody?
We were trying to hit the pool, which we did successfully.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that must have been nice for the people using the pool the next day.
We were idiots. We were kids.
My only trip to Florida was for the 2015 NHL draft, which was at this arena. Well, it wasn't called Amerant Bank Arena. Was it National Car Rental Arena or American Airlines? I can't remember. So I'd never been to Florida before. I mean, this is not Miami. It's north of Miami. I was in Miami briefly because Shirelli did a media availability there. So it's like I got a car in with a couple other media people, got out, went to the hotel, did the scrum, got back in a car. So I didn't really see Miami. Stayed in Fort Lauderdale. The rink's in Sunrise. So Fort Lauderdale, you're right across from the ocean. There's, a major road, and then there's a beach, and there's not a lot of beach. Like it's not... Like in Santa Monica, the beach is a couple blocks wide, once you get down there. There was not a lot. And I remember going onto the beach and there were all these little squares, like not big, maybe like 3 feet by 3 feet, taped with it looked like police tape, like that yellow tape. And then I found out that there were turtle eggs there.
Oh my.
So they tape around there so people don't walk over the turtle eggs. And then one of the nights there, I looked up, okay, what's nearby? Like I'm looking, is there a craft beer place? And it's like, oh, there's a craft beer place. And it was, I don't know, like a 6 to 8 block along this strip along the ocean. So I thought, okay, I'll go there. And it was, they don't have the daylight till 11 like we do. So I was going a little later in the evening and I start walking and I was like, something's wrong. Like I feel like this isn't right. And then I looked around and I realized there were no streetlights on. And I was like, okay, that's weird. Like power appears to be on, but there's no streetlights on this fairly major road going along the ocean. So I was like, I don't feel good walking with no streetlights, place I don't really know. So I was like, I won't go to this place. And then the next day, I don't know if somebody in the hotel told me or I read something that they shut the streetlights off because if the turtles hatched, the lights would confuse them because they want them to hatch and go walk immediately towards the water and get in the ocean, and somehow the lights would distract them. So all the street lights were off. That's my memory of Florida and it being muggy. Like it was the opposite of here. So in the winter here, you come inside from the cold and your glasses fog up. In late June in Sunrise, the air conditioning's on in the hotel. You walk out into plus 39 and your glasses fog up.
Oh way, yeah, that's interesting.
So those are our responses for the off-topic topic. We want to hear from you. Have you ever taken a trip and or vacation to Florida? And what was your review of it? Or give us a story. Okay.
We went in the water at night.
Ocean or pool?
Ocean.
Oh, nice.
And no, apparently.
So you were on the other side of the, yeah.
Yeah, and the hotel staff came out and like screaming, yelling,
Why?
Get in. Apparently sharks come in there at night. Like
would that be the Gulf of Mexico over there? Or what would that be called?
Not sure.
Or would that just be Tampa Bay?
Not sure what it's called anymore.
That's right. It's the Gulf of America.
The Gulf of America. Yeah, it would have been the Gulf.
So, okay, yeah, Tampa Bay comes in. And so St. Petersburg kind of hangs out. And then, yeah, that would be the Gulf of Mexico over there. Okay.
So then everybody
we've
felt
covered
we
a lot.
lost our
Geography,
lives and,
hockey. We'll talk a little bit of football later on as well. Disappointing start to the season for the Edmonton Elks. Again, happy to hear from you. 780-218-9999, the River Career Resort and Casino inbox. You're going to hear from Chris Knobloch, Evander Kane, Darnell Nurse when we get back to the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne.
Edmonton hits the ice in South Florida with the series notched at 1 apiece entering Game 3. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is a game-time decision, but will take warm-ups. Jeff Skinner on the standby to take his spot if he can't go. While for Florida, they'll sit Jesper Boquist in favor of AJ Greer, who makes his Stanley Cup Final debut. Tom Gazzola, Hernan Salas, they get you set for the action during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show live from Boston Pizza Westgate. Tune in at 5 right here on EST. CFL News News sees Kadeem Carey sign with the Riders. Carey played for the Argos last season, having over 1,000 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns through 18 games played. MLB action sees 9 games, including the Jays facing the Cardinals. That one gets going at 5:45. Jose Barrios taking the mound for Toronto. Andre Palante for the Cards. Elsewhere, the Dodgers battle the Padres. Milwaukee plays Atlanta as the Phillies match up with the Cubs. And in soccer, Canada's Kyle Larin will serve as captain during their game against Ivory Coast tomorrow. That's Canada's final game at the Canadian Shield Tournament. This sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton. Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off free of charge. Visit findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. The Reid Wilkins Show rolls on after a brief intermission. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
2 guys and a goalie.
People who are listening or watching at home, and you want to bring up the Sportsnet highlight 10-minute shortened game on your computer, freeze the screen with 33.8 seconds left in the period and with 50 seconds left on the power play. In my mind, that is the exact instant Leon Draisaitl knew he was going to win the game. When Perry makes that little drop pass, he pounces.
He took the safety off. That's the point where he takes the safety
2 guys
off.
and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Friday's just got a whole lot more fun. Spin the wheel at the Banquet for your shot to win big and save on your bill. Spin, win, save. It's that easy. Details at thebanquetbar.com. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Time out, Edmonton. The new Play Alberta app has arrived, and it's here to make your gambling experiences more fun, exciting, and secure. Enjoy the convenience of hundreds of casino games, betting live on your favorite sports teams, and access to lotteries all in one place anywhere in Alberta. Enter code YEG50 to receive a $50 free bet when you make a $5 minimum deposit. That's a $50 free bet for new and existing users using code YEG50. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Keep your team jersey and rally towel close by and help bring the championship home. For all your other treasures, store them with Sentinel Storage. Store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Must you click? Click. Must you click?
The world famous Thumb Click remix is put together by our own Zachary Kubish, reminding you to click the thumbs up button if you haven't already on YouTube. Let's keep pushing. We're at 75. Good start in the first half hour. Let's get to 100 quickly, then push to 155, double word of the day territory, and then ultimately 200 to keep our streak going here during the postseason. No reason to delay, really. Like, just get in there and click. Makes us relax. Puts a sense of calmness over us. Here as we are in the Banquet studio. Every Monday, bowl for just $2 all day at the Banquet Bar. Walk in, grab your friends, and start your week with some fun. Get real, play hard at the Banquet. Okay. 780-218-9999, River Cree Resort and Casino inbox to text us. So we'll remind me to do the second clue before we go to break.
You got it, boss.
A quicker show. Well, maybe someone will get it before then. First clue was Canadian. Hudson's Canada's Pub mystery athlete of the game.
I don't think so.
Has anybody even guessed?
Yep.
Okay. From a variety of sports or mostly from one sport?
3 different sports.
3 different sports. Okay, we'll just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. During the break, you can tell me what sports they were. Or are. Okay. Oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
This will be a good one. I think somebody's going to figure it out after the next guess.
Okay.
Jay might not.
TBD, bro.
TBD. All right, let's hear from some of your key members of your Edmonton Oilers on and off the ice as we bring you the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel. Providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood. Where do you want to start? You want to start with the goalie stuff?
Yeah.
That's what most of a lot of the best stuff was about. All right, first of all, Sam Bennett. He's the guy for Florida. He scores. Well, what's the old term we use in hockey? He's noticeable all the time. Mm-hmm. He's making an impact on the game. He scores. He's in front of the net. He's agitating. He is at times breaking the rules, even if he doesn't look like he's doing it. Well, no, I guess that's the story. He's breaking the rules either obviously or accidentally on purpose. Would that be a way to put it?
You're talking about the collisions with Stuart Skinner?
Yeah. Or getting that slash in on Bush once the linesman is there. You know. That
they just called prior on a retaliation against the Oilers.
So
yeah, that one.
So here is Knobloch. So the question to Knobloch wasn't specifically, well, what do you do about Sam Bennett? The question was, there have been some incidences in front of the net. What's the dialogue like with the league about, protecting the goaltenders and potential goalie interference?
Yeah, no, it's a fine line, and you just trust that the referees will call it and enforce it properly, and it's a very difficult thing to handle because, just what's contact, what propels a player into the crease, or what, obviously our defensemen are trying to do their best to keep the Florida players from getting to the net front. And, player can always spin or take the other route or go through the crease. And you look at, certain plays where, I took physics in high school, but that was a long time ago. And, when there's an action from one side and counteraction, but if you're pushing to the left and he falls right and or backwards or whatever it is, it's you can't do that much as a defenseman to control exactly where he goes. So just hopefully the referees see that and call it accordingly.
By the way, the name of the high school in Imperial, Saskatchewan is indeed Imperial School. All right. So there's a lot to think about here. First of all, and like stuff happens on off days, especially in the Stanley Cup Final. GMs, presidents of teams are lobbying, officials are being sent tape. There are discussions, and I'm sure the Panthers have video of Oilers players or whoever saying, he can't keep doing this. Now, the Bennett stuff has been quite obvious. I mean, there was the goalie interference challenge in game 1 that he survived. And I didn't think that was going to get overturned simply because he tripped over Kulak's leg. If he did that all on purpose, then good maneuvering by him. Then there was the last game he went into Skinner and kind of almost gave him a little bit of a forearm as he was going into him. That one got called. So there's a few things here. The referees can watch him more closely, though I kind of think they do that already. Like the referees know the reputations of players. So I don't know if you're going to get more of an eagle eye on him. Maybe the Oilers sway things like, okay, watch what he does. Like watch how he falls. As Knobloch was kind of suggesting, if he is pushed to Stuart Skinner's left and falls into Stuart Skinner's pads, then perhaps that's what the Oilers are saying. Okay, maybe he's pushed, but he's not falling in the direction in which he was pushed. And then the other discussion here is, and I do think this is a relevant discussion, and I apologize in advance because people are going to think I'm a big meanie. But the other question is, how do the Oilers make Sam Bennett feel pain and get away with it themselves? Or do you take an early penalty on the guy when he's in front of the net?
Reid, forget that. Take a penalty. I mean, if that's what... I mean, look what he's doing to this series. Aside from him, and Brad Marchand, who's really putting fear into the Oilers? Right?
Well, they have a lot of good players, but it feels as if Bennett or Marchand with the puck are feeling it right now.
I would just be extra physical and take it over the line until the referees decide to call it. Go over the line with him because he's doing it the other way. And whether it gets called or not, tit for tat. If that's going to happen that way, okay, then we're going to get overly aggressive with him. Now, is that going to affect him? I don't think. I think he's cold-blooded enough to almost appreciate it and be, oh, okay.
Right.
He might find happiness in that. I don't know. But if it makes him think twice in the offensive zone, then it's worth it. But I would go to the line and I would go over it. I mean, I'm not saying go out and hurt the guy, but I'm saying go punish him. Absolutely. He's public enemy number one right now for that team. He is harming you the most.
Right.
So take it into your own hands and try and eliminate him from the game. However you need to do that. Between whistles, I guess. But do it aggressively. If they call a roughing, okay. Well, there's the bar.
Yeah.
But I think that needs to happen. I don't think he's been receiving enough reciprocation for what he's been doing to their netminder.
Well, I mean, look, this is the Stanley Cup Final, and you're right. I'm going out and injuring somebody is not what I'm talking about. But these are big, angry men who have sticks in their hands. I mean, when he's in front of the net, he should be slashed. He should be cross-checked. And I think that the Oilers have to do what, and the Oilers do have players that do this. But they have to do what Bennett does and what Tkachuk can do when he's on his game and what Marchand does. We dare you to call a penalty. Okay, like there are cross checks in front of the net that are obvious penalties. If you wind up and drive a guy in the back of the shoulders, but there's all those little rabbit cross checks to the lower back or to the wrist.
Or the right spot.
Like guys also know where the padding is on other players. And you're trying to win the Stanley Cup here. And quite frankly, I know Skinner's job is to stop the puck. He's got a pretty big stick and a blocker himself.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's that fine line between maybe getting a penalty and maybe looking like you're off your game. But in that moment when Aiden Hill did that to Evander Kane, he didn't care if he was going to give Evander Kane a concussion with his blocker. Or I'm not suggesting hurt the guy, but there's things that happen here.
I think the referees will acknowledge that if you're getting beat up in front of your net, I mean, that's what happened with Aiden Hill, and he slashed Zach Hyman right in the back of the legs after one play. Nothing. Right? Now, the flip side of that is, okay, can two play at that game? Right? Can the Oilers create havoc in front of Sergei Bobrovsky? I think maybe that might be, from a tactical standpoint, more reasonable or expectable. Is to say, okay, guys, they're not calling that, or they're quite loose with what's going on in front of the net. Let's get to the net. Good things happen in front of there for this team anyhow. And, this is where the Trent Fredericks and the Evander Kanes have to step up. I mean, Corey Perry's going to do that naturally on the power
has there
play.
been a play in this series when there was a whistle? Certainly there have been scrums in front of the Florida net, but has there been a whistle and there's an Oiler player like falling on Bobrovsky or next to Bobrovsky, or not really? And I do think the Oilers are trying to get to the net. Florida's got some big guys preventing that, but I mean, that's what I see a lot of that. You got to go after Bob. And it's not going after in terms of let's run the goalie or let's do this, but be a presence.
Absolutely.
Give him a little poke.
Yep.
Give him a little poke after the whistle. Fall onto him. And then if there's a penalty, then here's what Knobloch or the Oilers do on an off day. It's like, okay, here's the penalty you called on us. Fair enough. Here's 20 pieces of video of the Panthers during the playoffs that they weren't called.
Well, and are these not the same officials from game one?
Who is it again?
Macaulay and Francis Chiron?
Yes, I believe so.
Right.
Yeah.
So if from game one, If they're going to let a little bit more of that activity go on in front of the net, take advantage of it.
This is fun, isn't it?
I love it. Yeah.
This is just great.
We can just keep going. I mean, but unfortunately, we have to get to a break.
Because if Corey Perry is doing what Bennett is doing, it's the Oilers fans love it.
Yes,
right.
I've got a question.
But that's the beauty. Yeah. That's the beauty of it, right?
Well, it's easy to despise a player like Sam Bennett, but Sam Bennett is a UFA after this year. If there's somehow, some way, the Oilers could land a player like that, you'd be over the moon to have someone like him on your team.
And to me, he's different than Tkachuk, who is his own type of pest and irritant. And I don't think Kachuk's healthy, given the way the series is going. There's certainly that suggestion. But Bennett is more like the dig away type of guy, and then kind of look at you and be like, yeah, did you see that?
Yeah.
What are you like? I'm here. What do you want to do? Tkachuk is more like, I'll do something and then I'll skate to the bench. And if you try to do something to me, I'm like, oh, like he doesn't want like Tkachuk. And Tkachuk's a great player. But to me, he's more of a spot picker. It's like, I will fight or do something aggressive if I think I can win. Whereas Bennett's more like, I'm just going to irritate everybody and get involved and do all this kind of crazy stuff and grin at you. Whereas Tkachuk is like the devil who tries to act like he's an angel. Even that stuff with like a Cassian a few years ago, like he wouldn't fight him when Cassian wanted to fight him.
Right.
And then he was okay off the face-off a few games later when he was already, getting basically had his gloves off beforehand and could try to get the jump. Anyway, Florida's got an aggressive team. The Oilers can be very aggressive. I think we need to see. My biggest concern is not having Hyman and now possibly not having Nugent-Hopkins, because now there are some real holes to me in your top six. Kapanen had a better game one than game two, I thought, though he still had a couple opportunities in game two. He was part of that big breakdown on the Seth Jones goal in game one. Frederick, to me, is just okay. And you can't have anybody just okay in a series of this caliber. If he's going to get out there and hit and take care of some of these situations, he's got to take care of it tonight. And I'm not saying fighting necessarily. I guess he has been involved in the only fight in the postseason, but to me, he really needs to be noticed physically tonight.
Agreed.
That would be a key for me too. All right.
You want to give out clue number 2?
We better give out clue number 2. We got more audio coming up. Jay's play of the day is ahead as well. Clue number 2, Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Game. You must text 780-218-9999, River Crew Resort and Casino Inbox. Clue number 2 is British. So the first clue, Canadian. Second clue, British. Will somebody get the Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Game now? We're about to find out. We'll hear from Kane and from Nurse. Jay has his play of the day coming up. We have buying or selling for Damon Bunting on the way. Here comes Zachary Kubish.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is a game-time decision for the Oilers ahead of Game 3 against the Panthers. Jeff Skinner will be the man up to play if Nugent-Hopkins can't go tonight. On the other side, Florida takes Jesper Boquist out of the lineup to play A.J. Greer in his first Stanley Cup Final appearance with the series tied at 1 apiece. Join Tom Gazzola, Hernan Salas. They preview the action during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show live from Boston Pizza Westgate. Coverage starting at 5 right here on EST. CFL News has running back Kadeem Carey off to Saskatchewan. Carey had over 1,000 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns in 18 games with the Argos last season. And for the Jays, they open a 3-game series with the Cardinals from St. Louis. Jose Barrios gets the ball for Toronto. Andre Palante for the Cardinals. That one gets going at 5:45. And 8 other games dot the slate, including the Marlins and Pirates with the date. The Angels and Athletics duking it out with the Padres challenge the Dodgers. In soccer, Kyle Larin will serve as Canada's captain tomorrow against the Ivory Coast. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated since 1993. They have doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they got plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood, Leduc. We have a brief break before more Game 3 preview brings us back on the other side. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Do you have pets? Horses? Chickens? Did the place you used to get your feed recently close down? Have no fear. Clover Bar Feeds is here. Whether it's dogs, cats, horses, or chickens, Clover Bar Feeds has you covered. Offering a large variety of food and feed, you can trust the experts at Clover Bar Feeds. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. This means you can expect nothing less than top-notch service and selection. Come visit them at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park, or visit them online at cloverbarfeeds.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know. It is Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final tonight. Oilers at Panthers. Another two-day break after this one. So Thursday, once again in Sunrise. Saturday, there will be a Game 5. I suggested Friday. It could be that could have been the Oilers' final home game of the season. It was not. There will be at least one more coming up on Saturday at Rogers Place. So games 3, 4, and 5 are for sure. Let's just do a couple more clips here, Jay, for the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel. Darnell Nurse asked about the goalie interference and the battles at the top of the crease.
It's not the first time we've seen in the playoffs. I know, we were playing Dallas. They were those first couple of games. They were pretty heavy in front of our net, and I think our job as defensemen obviously is to let Stu see these pucks, and knowing how well of a job that they're going to do getting to the net front and how much compete and battle they have, we're going to have to raise our level to get to that level too.
All right, and Evander Kane was asked about the goaltender bumping as well.
Yeah, it's been a battle at both nets. Obviously, you don't like when guys are purposely falling into your goaltender. That's never good, and you hope that gets noticed. But I think both teams, and we're making it a point to go hard and go even harder as the series goes on to their net.
Always be handled different in a regular season, though, fair to say. Like, it's not a situation where you can just go and, somebody bumps your goalie.
Yeah, you can't go out and take a 5 or 2 5 and a 10 here, right? In the first period. So that wouldn't help anybody. But there's other ways to handle it, and, staying aggressive. And like I said, going hard to their net as well.
Well, and maybe that's the thing. And he made a good point, and I think that's the fundamental beauty and the problem about hockey, is that a lot of really, really effective hockey players constantly break the rules and don't get called, because there's that gray zone between what the rule book says and what the referee will actually call a penalty, right? And the really good players find that line. Do you think that's easier to do in hockey than in say football or basketball?
Maybe not football.
Okay,
there's a lot of stuff that happens that's unseen.
But football definitely honors the whistle more than hockey.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and that's up to the referees to control. I mean, if you want to nip it in the bud right away, well, send the two guys that touch each other first after the whistle off. Double minors.
Right.
It's not penalizing anybody really. Well, it might be, depending on who the player is, but you're setting a precedent. Now, I do appreciate what I just heard from Evander Kane, and Oilers fans should too. I mean, this is a guy that says, well, there's other ways to handle it, like we can get to their net.
Right.
And it's not a situation where you can just go out there and take a 5-minute major, right? That's not really solving the problem. Actually, that's allowing Sam Bennett or whoever is doing this, you're handing them the win. But yeah, I think you just fight physicality with physicality. And the Oilers have players that can do it. No question. So it'd be interesting to see how they answer.
Yeah, maybe we see them try to be a little greasier in front of Bobrovsky today, whenever they can get there. So one of the many games within the game that we get into game 3 of the Cup
decided
Final.
to turn that switch on against with Aiden Hill.
They did.
They knew what they were doing. So they're capable of it.
They're capable of doing it. I mean, Florida's D-core is really, really good. They got some big, angry guys back there as well who, will do anything to win. Not suggesting any specific players who may have been suspended during the course of the season. Anyway, I'm just bringing that up to be cheeky. Why not?
Cheeky.
Let's just get to one more here from Evander Kane. Spec asked him a question. I left Spec's question in so we get the full context.
Coaches would say that they're a little confused when they're trying to make a goalie interference challenge. They're not always sure. As a player on the ice, are you always sure what's allowed around goalies anymore?
No. I learned that lesson probably once they started kind of cracking down on that rule a long time ago. So, I think we've seen a lot of calls go different ways, and it's hard to kind of determine. You like to think there's some obvious ones, but every now and again you get surprised sometimes.
See, that's a problem to me.
It is
not an Evander Kane problem. That's an NHL problem. Like he's basically saying your standard sucks or you don't have one.
Well, clearly they don't.
And he's basically saying I don't even. Like he kind of said, I don't even worry about it anymore. I'm just accepting that I won't understand what goalie interference. And to me, that's a problem, right?
It's been a problem since the start of the show, Reid.
Yeah,
we've talked about the inconsistencies in NHL officiating.
Yes,
it's blatantly,
and it is
obviously bad.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's a tough sport to officiate, but I also think it goes beyond the officiating. It goes to the rule book. And as I've referenced several times, everybody, you can look it up. Google NHL rule book. I think the website is Scouting the Refs. You can just download a PDF of the entire rule book. Goalie interference is Rule 69. I don't know what page is on. I know it's Rule 69. It's about 3.5 pages long. I mean, maybe that's a problem in itself, because I know when we've talked about goaltender interference in the past, and I've tweeted out, okay, this is why it's goalie interference, and people be like, it doesn't say that in the rule book, Reid. And I'll be like, no, you got to go to the next page. Like, yes, you're right. Based on the rule, part of the rule that you're reading, it seems like it should have counted, but they're actually referring to another part of Rule 69. That's why it didn't count. We've talked before. Can you clean it up?
It is what it is. I mean, it's just, but it depends if Wes McCauley and Francis Sharon want to call it tonight.
Well, that's the thing. Bennett's going to play that way regardless.
Right.
And the Oilers should have forwards who want to play their way that way regardless as well.
You have to take that risk, and if it gets called, it gets called. Maybe they, I wonder if they know if these two officials know what too many men on the ice is. Was that not the worst?
Which one? What am I missing?
In overtime.
Did Florida have too many men?
Oh, yeah. Blatantly.
I remember there was a close change. I didn't see a replay of it either. Anyway, we expect another great game tonight. It is time for Jay's play of the day.
It's Jay, it's play, he's Jay, it's today. It's Jay's play of the day. It's Jay's play of the day. Jay's play of the day.
Presented by Play Alberta. Why limit your choices when you can have it all? Play Alberta is your go-to app for casino games, sports betting, and lottery, all in one place with easy access to real money games. You can enjoy everything Alberta has to offer right at your fingertips. Download Play Alberta now and start playing today.
Well, this one, you go to playalberta.ca, click on the EST specials. You'll see that there's currently 5 specials up today. Jay's play of the day has the Edmonton Oilers winning and Leon Draisaitl 2+ points.
That's it.
That's it, baby.
Well, if
Give it to me cold.
If the Oilers win, there's a good chance Draisaitl has a couple of points.
And that's why, I was on the lock shop today filling in for Huss, who's traveling back from the RBC Canadian Open. But we put something together that says both teams will score in the first period, and Evander Kane will have 1+ points. That was boosted to plus 398. That's a big one. And then Dusty has Corey Perry 1+ points. I mean, there's some really good makeable plays here. There's not too many stretches outside of the grandest parlay, but that's all.
What is that one today?
Oh, would you like to know?
Yeah, I'd like to know what it is.
Cuba to win. I don't even know what sport we're talking about.
What sport are we talking about?
Versus Bermuda.
Is this volleyball? What is it?
I don't know. M. Kelly 6+ strikeouts.
Soccer?
Corey Perry 1+ points. Kasperi Kapanen 1+ points.
Oh my!
That was boosted to plus 1320.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's it.
That's awesome.
So there are some really makeable ones here. Just to, look, I'll tell you something about me, Reid.
Okay,
I'm rarely going to go against the home team, against the market in which we cover.
Right.
Much like you with your predictions, you just say to hell with it. I'm gonna go for this. What would bring joy to many sports wagerers out there would be an Edmonton Oilers win, Draisaitl continuing on his pace. I mean, if the Oilers win, like you said, and they have, they've turned around 1-1 series or 2-0 series pretty quick throughout this postseason. So see if they can get it done tonight.
You want to hear a crazy what if?
Yes.
What if the wins in this series follow the same pattern as the goals in Game 1?
You did this earlier, and I don't like it.
Edmonton? No, why wouldn't you like it?
Because I'm an Oilers in 6 guy.
But in my what if, the Oilers win the Stanley Cup?
They do.
So they would go.
So I guess I kind of like it.
Edmonton, Florida, Florida, Edmonton.
Wow.
So the Oilers would have to come back again, but this time win, because they'd only be down 3-1 instead of 3-0.
Would that be an Oilers sweep?
That would be an Oilers sweep. Yes, that would be an Oilers sweep, not a gentleman's sweep. That would be an Oilers sweep. We got a limerick here from Jeff in YYZ, emailing Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, Jay at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Game 3 tonight in Florida slush. Which Panther will the Oilers crush? Put the shots all past Bob, give him nothing to rob, turn the forechecking rats into mush. Pretty good. From Jeff and YYZ. Couple more limericks coming up later. Should we do the third clue? Nobody won?
Sure.
Third clue, Hudson's Canada's Pub, mystery athlete of the game. You're trying to win a $25 gift card to Hudson's Canada's Pub. You must text your guesses to the afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, 780-218-9999. The third clue is U.S. So the first clue, Canadian. Second clue, British. Third clue, U.S. We're over 100 thumbs if you're watching us on YouTube, or if you want to jump in there from the audio stream, click the thumbs up, give us a like.
Let's get a little bit of a lull here, so let's break through the lull.
I think maybe that Oilers fans, and we know that most of our audience is Oilers fans. I know I've seen a couple Florida people checking things out today, but most people are Oilers fans. Maybe they're thinking, well, Oilers games always get decided late, so we don't really have to worry about clicking a thumb until late in the show.
Let's buck the trend.
But who knows? We don't know if there's a connection. Maybe if you click all the thumbs earlier, the Oilers cruise to victory.
Wait, what's been the worst period in both games for the Oilers?
2.
What period of the show are we technically in right
2.
now?
We're halfway through the second period.
Let's help.
Let's rally up the second period. That's a good point.
It correlates.
That's a great point.
It correlates.
That's a great point. So let's give a big boost here to the thumbs up. We want to get to 155 next, so we know we have a double word of the day, and then we'll push for 200. All right, a few more Oilers clips coming up. We will have some thoughts on the Edmonton Elks season opening loss on Saturday night as well. Buying or selling for Damon Bunting is ahead. Here's the 4 o'clock break.
The Lock Shop.
What do you think's going to happen? Dusty, every time I see doubt cast towards this team, I don't laugh, but I do take it with a grain of salt, because this team is continually showing you that they can overcome in what would be perceived from outside of this market as a tough situation. They continually have done it. The Oilers have the two best players in the world on their team.
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
If you aren't wearing a Connect belt, what are you waiting for? A one-size-fits-all belt with a smooth, hole-free track system makes it adjustable for the perfect fit. With fully customizable options, you can choose your belt color, material, and buckle to suit your style. 100% Canadian-owned and operated, Connect belts are designed for work, everyday wear, and even a round of golf. Check out the large selection of men's and women's styles at www.knktbelts.com. Connect belts, the perfect fit every time.
River Cree Resort and Casino proudly presents Ian Munsick. July 5th, live in the venue. Country fans, you don't want to miss an evening with Ian Munsick, a stampeding, spirited celebration of romance, ranch life, family, and forever young fun. Tickets on sale now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
The Oilers and Panthers clash for Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is a game-time decision for the Oilers. Jeff Skinner will take his spot if he can't play. And for the Panthers, Jesper Boquist is the odd man out. AJ Greer stepping into the Panthers lineup. Swing by Boston Pizza Westgate with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas as they break down the action during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Watch or listen live at 5 o'clock. Only on EST. And 2018 Stanley Cup champion TJ Oshie has officially announced his retirement. His last season coming in the 2023-24 season. He played 16 seasons in the NHL. Over 1,000 games between the Blues and the Capitals. In baseball, Toronto visits St. Louis for a 3-game series. Jose Barrios gets the ball for the Jays. Andre Palante is the man for the Cardinals. First pitch for that one is at 5:45. Other action sees the Rays meet the Red Sox. Milwaukee hosting Atlanta while the Dodgers face the Padres. And during tomorrow's action at the Canadian Shield Tournament, Kyle Laren will captain Team Canada for their game against the Ivory Coast. This sports update is brought to you by Clover Bar Feeds. Clover Bar Feeds has all the animal feed you'll need. Get top-notch service and selection from their family-owned business. Visit Clover Bar Feeds at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park or call them at 780-467-5014. You're tuned in here on The Reid Wilkins Show.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, game-time decision. Oilers in Sunrise, Florida tonight to play the Panthers. Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. The series is 1-1, a little over 2 hours away from dropping the puck. Two classics so far in this series. Another limerick coming in from Bronco Nick. He emailed Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. As the series shifts to Sunrise, we hear of Nugent's surprise. The Oilers will rally with a 4-2 tally and begin the Panthers' demise. Well, I believe Bronco Nick earlier in the series correctly predicted a couple goals from Draisaitl, did he not? For Game 1, so maybe his 4-2 Oilers score will be correct tonight. We have a winner in the Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Game.
We do.
After 3 guesses, pretty good. Who wins the $25 gift card to Hudson's?
Big Slam Nasty got it. Got it first.
Nasty. A couple people.
Well, Mex was in there too.
Mex was in there.
Let me see. Mex was
a little too slow today.
2 minutes after at 4:02. Mexes came in. Big Slam Nasties came in at 4.
All right. So the first 3 clues were Canadian, British, and U.S. And this golfer is one of just 2 men to have won those 3 open tournaments all in the same year. Okay? The other is Tiger Woods. So the 4th clue, we needed to differentiate between these 2 gentlemen, was no jacket. Because this guy never won the Masters, even though he was one of the top golfers in the world for a long time. The 5th clue, if we would have needed it, was Grizzly Adams. And why was this the clue, Jay? You came up with this one.
It was from his cameo in Happy Gilmore. Grizzly Adams did have a beard.
This is Lee Trevino.
Yes.
So he won the Canadian, British, and U.S. Opens all in 1971. Never won a green jacket and had the Grizzly Adams line. Now, what were some of the wrong guesses, just for fun?
Lennox Lewis led the way.
Canadian and British.
Yeah.
Because when did he not box for Canada in the Olympics? And then when he became the world heavyweight champion, now all of a sudden he's British.
Yes.
Well, I mean, he was British, but all of a sudden he wasn't very Canadian.
Owen Hargraves came in.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, soccer player.
But lots of... and Owen Nolan.
Well, was he born in... was he born in the UK? Owen Nolan was born in Belfast. Belfast.
Belfast.
All right.
And Tiger Woods started coming in after the U.S. one.
Makes sense. Okay. So we had a golf one after the Canadian Open. So here's what I watched of the Canadian Open. I only saw the playoff. I only saw the 4 playoff holes. Over and over again they went. I would have liked them to turn that hole into a par 4 maybe the 3rd time through. Or move the tee box around. Well, or you could have made it a par 5, then a par 4, then a par 3 the 3rd time through.
Apparently they recut the hole in between the 3rd and 4th playoff
They moved the hole from one side to the other.
Well, it was guarded by the pond originally, and then they moved it, I think, further towards the grandstand.
It was still guarded by the pond, but it was a little different angle and a bit shorter, I think.
Yeah. But still, I was saying it on the Lock Shop. I do appreciate, guys just wanting to keep it. Hey, I'll force you to make a similar shot to mine.
Right.
But if I was playing in that, and let's say it was even the 2nd playoff hole and the person laid up before me, I'm going for the green. Why not?
If you got the shot, why not?
Well, they did have the shot.
Yeah.
Because Sam Burns hit it exactly where the hole was cut prior to. So he could have made that shot on the 1st or 2nd or 3rd playoff hole.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it was exciting. It was cool to see because he's from New Zealand, right?
The winner's from New Zealand, yes. And his dad played for the All Blacks rugby.
But the New Zealand soccer team was there cheering him on?
I get, or was it another rugby team?
Or
the all whites? What I don't even...
I forget what
I was a little surprised that there was a team called that. But anyway.
Yeah, that was a interesting one.
Hang on, let me put this in here. I thought that they were a rugby team because didn't they have some big score like in the 80s? Weren't they saying? Oh no, that is the soccer team. You're right.
Because they were in Toronto for some.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, so in New Zealand, the men's soccer football team is the All Whites, and the rugby team is the All Blacks. But the secondary jersey for the All Whites is all black. Well, I guess you only got one way to go. It's like
your options are limited.
We are very But boy, those teams must have been pissed off when color TV got introduced, eh? Wait a minute. What? Our jerseys are going to look exactly the same. Whistle Dog has posted a limerick in the Nasty Chat. Now, unfortunately, the Nasty Chat doesn't separate the lines very well, but I think I got this here. 3 straight wins for a gentleman's sweep. Reward for their efforts these Oilers will seek. The Nasties will shout, Reid, shut your mouth. It's an actual thing, you pipsqueak. That's pretty good. Though Dustin Nielsen has said this, the Oilers can now, the only team that can pull off a gentleman's sweep in this series, by Dustin's definition, is the Florida Panthers. Because Dustin has clarified on Twitter, a gentleman's sweep is lose the first game, then win 4 straight.
Well,
so if that's what he wants it to be, I can live with that, but that's the only time he can celebrate a gentleman's sweep show.
We should get into another limerick before we hit the break here. This is from VR Montenegro, who's going, I guess we're a ways away from a break. Sorry. Vincent Rafael Montenegro. The Double E are off to one of their classic starts. Nathan Rourke dominating on the field, throwing darts. The kicker needs a cure, and there's one thing for sure. The old green and gold postgame is no friend of the arts. I have no idea what's that.
What happened? Yeah, you guys weren't. Well, it can be a nonsensical line. I don't remember you guys saying anything anti-arty.
Anti-arty.
All right, 780-218-9999. The River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. River Cree Resort and Casino featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. Just want to get to another piece of audio here. Chris Knobloch, head coach of the Oilers, on dealing with the Panthers forecheck.
I think it's collectively. That's on the coaches. It's on the players. It's, I think you look back and, there were times when we didn't bring the puck out. But, analytically, we actually had more breakout success than Florida did. So it says that our forecheck was actually better. Now, analytics are sometimes skewed and sometimes they're not correct or whatever it is. But we're not going to break the puck out every time they dump the puck in. And hopefully Florida, when we're able to get some stops on our forecheck too. So hopefully that we can change some things that maybe we have success, maybe 3 or 4 more times on our breakout and 3 or 4 more times that we can get a few more stops on our forechecks. But overall, I think collectively from the coaches and the players, there are things that we can do that increase our percentage just a little bit, not completely, but maybe just a couple more success rates throughout the game.
All right. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to give any X's and O's if they have any plans to try to, he's not going to say, well, here's what we're going to do when they're coming strong at us. I mean, and as Knobloch often does, he recognizes the other team has good players and are going to make play. I don't think the Oilers want to be hemmed in for most of the period like they were last game, because even when they had the puck under control, they weren't making good plays with the puck. I mean, it's one thing to have the other team cycle the puck a little bit, but then when you get it, you got to make that play and get it out. So anyway, that's what he had to say about that. Time to dive into buying or selling. It's presented by Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven. He understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com. Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate.
All right. Well, VR Montenegro just sent in a limerick about the Elks. Let's talk about it a little bit here. And he does add that the reason for the arts was because he sent in a haiku to the Green and Gold post-game show.
Okay.
And Matt was having none of it.
Oh, really? Okay.
He said there's no limericks, no haikus on any show I'm on.
Oh, I did hear that. Okay. Yeah. Well, why wouldn't there be?
Quite persnickety of him.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, the Elks fell to BC 31-14 Saturday night. Buying or selling? Trey Ford looked as bad as you've seen him in a green and gold uniform.
I will sell on that because I think the game in last year in Winnipeg, he looked bad. His performance and the performance overall of the offense, I found extremely discouraging. Overall on the game, I thought the special teams, minus the place kicking, to me, and Jay, look, I often say, like, I don't have a huge technical knowledge of football. I look at the results of the play. I mean, I can tell if it's a blitz or a zone, but I don't always know the exact name or terminology for everything. But the special teams looked more organized and quicker to me.
Sure.
I thought their kick coverage was pretty good. They unfortunately had a touchdown called back by a penalty, but they had a couple other decent returns, like where you got the ball well past your own 30 or 35 after a kickoff. I think the one Smith ran it into BC's end.
Oh, big time. Yeah. He ended up on their 40.
I thought the punter was very good, Grace. He put the one into the end zone for a rouge when he was trying for the coffin corner. Sometimes that happens. By the way, don't applaud that. The place kicking was horrific. I hope Blanchard, I hope that's just a rookie game and he's better later. I think he has the leg strength, but he was just, he cost them 7 points. Like, he didn't even get rouges on his missed field goals. And if he had made those points, they actually would have been ahead after the third quarter. Now, Rourke was flying. The defense, despite the way they seem to get picked apart in the second half, I really think you got to hand it to Rourke. I think he is head and shoulders the best player in the league. And as you know, I've been pretty high on the Lions whenever we've had just casual chats around the bullpen leading into the season. I thought he was awesome. Yes, you got to stop awesome players to win, but give him credit. Extremely disappointed in the offense. Did not run the ball, neither frequently nor successfully. Did not pass the ball efficiently. I was looking at the stats today. I was surprised that Ford was around 2/3 completion. It felt like they didn't have any good completions. And the two most exciting plays were off broken plays, which is fine. But to me, those spectacular plays need to be on top of efficient offense, not in place of efficient offense. So if you're moving the ball well and are a load for the other team to handle, and then Ford can do that twice a game, that's pretty hard to stop. But it's like, to me, if you're the BC Lions or a team that's game planning for the Elks, now I know it's only one game, but we've seen Ford for a while now. It's kind of like, okay, you know what, guys? He's going to do something crazy, and we're going to be frustrated. Write it off, because if we stick with what we're doing, he can't pick us apart. So it was discouraging.
Yeah, and I think you said something there that's key, is this was game one. And as we heard after the game from head coach Mark Killam, Trey has to play through games like this to get better. So we'll see what happens next. They're off this week. They're back to practice Saturday, which is a day earlier than they normally would, because they need to get back to the drawing board. I honestly think a lot of this, and it's week one of an 18-week season. Jordan Maksimic needs to be better as well, the offensive coordinator for this team. He needs to have a more run-dependent or run-heavy play calling, I guess, plan.
But I guess the flip side of that is, they weren't getting anywhere running the ball.
Doesn't matter. You have to commit to it. You can't go away with it, because in the fourth quarter or in the third quarter, where they could have extended drives by running the ball, they didn't have that option anymore.
Right.
Because they had gone away from it. You rush the ball 10 times. That's not enough. You need to just, it's like what they say in Remember the Titans. It's like Novocaine. Just give it time, it'll work. Right? That's the same as the run game, but then that opens it up for Trey Ford and allows him time in the pocket and a pocket to develop. And look, maybe we're underestimating how much the loss of Brett Boyko, their right tackle, actually affected this team. So they're working with that as well, but it's expected that Boyko will be back. So who knows? Jury's still out, but you got to expect more from this team.
Here's what Mark Killam said about Trey Ford after that game.
Yeah, he's still learning. He gets better every time he plays, and he has to play to get better. That's what people don't understand. He has to play. It's the only way. But you see some of the dynamic things that he can do. He will always have that, and defenses have to account for that. But we've got to iron out the functionality of our offense on a day-to-day.
Well, great point. And it seems to me they're committing to playing Ford. Because quite frankly, and a couple people have said it to me, how long do you wait until Fajardo goes in? I hate to say that, This is a team that started 0-7 2 years in a row, and weren't they 0-4, 0-5? They've missed the playoffs 4 years in a row. And, it's kind of like when the Oilers were bad. It was like, well, end of November, they were out of it. I mean, the Elks have kind of been out of it by mid to late August the last couple of years. Like, what if they're 0-2, 0-3, and there's no progress with the offense, and you got a Grey Cup winning quarterback sitting on the bench? I hate to bring that up already, but I know it's entering people's minds because it's been said to me.
Look, it's something you cannot not bring up. I mean, after seeing that performance, you wonder what's going on there, because this was not what Elks fans had expected. And now you've got a pretty accomplished Montreal team coming in here.
Right.
Not this week coming up, but the following Thursday. So, yeah, they've got a lot of work to do, and the pressure's on, But, Reid, at the end of the day, it was a 3-point game heading into the fourth quarter. Okay? Edmonton couldn't get off the field, their defense, and their offense couldn't stay on the field.
Right.
Those are fixable. They are. They really are. But everybody needs to be better, and everybody needs to take accountability for that loss.
I actually think, I know the defense gave up 31 points. I think they have some good players
fine.
there.
Yeah.
I know they couldn't get a stop.
But
I think you have to give Rourke credit. I thought Sherritt was calling a bunch of different things to try to rattle Rourke. But, he's good, and he can get away.
They got caught in blitz coverages too often, and it burnt them. Three of the passing touchdowns were in zero coverage, which is when you're blitzing and you're expecting, like Rugamba got beat for 2 touchdowns in zero coverage.
Same guy, yeah.
Right? Maybe you got to address that because BC game planned for it and they exposed it quite easily. But those are fixable. That's the thing. Like the sky is not 100% falling yet.
No, I agree. But again, It was discouraging. We didn't see a more efficient offense that could drive the ball.
And you're entitled to feel that way.
All right.
The expectations and the bar was set higher.
Haiku coming in here to Bruce.
What would haiku music be?
No, not a haiku, a limerick.
Oh,
Sorry.
dang it.
I'm all confused. Limerick. Today is the day for game 3, so come down out of that tree. The farmer's dog, Bingo, who knows his puck lingo, says it's time for an oil scoring spree. B-I-N-G-O? Is that what that is referencing?
I don't know.
Well, we get some interesting limericks coming in. That's pretty cool. All right, 780-218-9999. River Career Resort and Casino inbox. If you missed it, the Mr. Athlete was Lee Trevino. Big Slam Nasty won that one. We don't know if the Nuge is going to play. I guess we'll find out in 2 hours or less if he's going to go in Game 3 here against the Florida Panthers. We are coming to you live from the Banquet Studio. Craving a late night snack? Check out the Banquet's new late night happy hour menu, Sunday to Thursday, 9 p.m. till close. Enjoy favorites like sweet and spicy lettuce wraps or the Banquet Burger at happy hour prices. Get real, play hard. We have more buying or selling for Damon Bunting. We got fired up for Gemco. We do not have a double word of the day. We have a single word of the day. We do not have a double word of the day. We got to get going with the thumbs, everybody. Jasmine, you need to lead the charge here. Get clicking. Get clicking. We're in danger of not having a double word of the day. Remember, there's only half an hour left in the show.
It is a short show.
We're done at 5 o'clock, so we got to get going to get to our 200 thumbs. Here comes the Coop.
Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final goes from Sunrise, Florida. Oilers, Panthers tied at 1 apiece. And Edmonton's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is a game-time decision. Jeff Skinner was the expected man up if he can go tonight. While for the Cats, AJ Greer is back into the lineup. Jesper Boquist being scratched. Swing by Boston Pizza Westgate to join Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas as they go live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Coverage starts at 5 only on EST. Elsewhere, TJ Oshie has announced his retirement from the NHL, sharing 16 seasons split between the Capitals and the Blues. Oshie played over 1,000 games during the regular season, winning the Stanley Cup in 2018 with the Caps. In the majors, The Jays and Cards open their 3-game series. Jose Barrios gets the ball for Toronto. Andre Palante, the start for St. Louis. First pitch for that one goes at 5:45. Elsewhere, the Dodgers battle the Padres. Milwaukee plays Atlanta. The Phillies match up with the Cubs. While in soccer, Kyle Larin will serve as Canada's captain tomorrow against the Ivory Coast. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists, and you're stuck with a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sports Medicine. Call them at 780-460-9977 or visit their website at advantagesportmed.ca to book an appointment today. The Reid Wilkins Show rolls on after a brief intermission. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus, shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
Sunday through Thursday, 9 p.m. to close, head to the Banquet and dive into Banquet burgers, sushi tacos, nachos, and more. Late night bites, big flavors, and epic deals. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
River Cree Resort and Casino proudly presents Ian Munsick. July 5th, live in the venue. Country fans, you don't want to miss an evening with Ian Munsick, a stampeding, spirited celebration of romance, ranch life, family, and forever young fun. Tickets on sale now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Keep your team jersey and rally towel close by and help bring the championship home. For all your other treasures, store them with Sentinel Storage. Store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
All right, hope you're having a great afternoon. It's 4:28. Along with Jason Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins, Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports. There's an Oilers game tonight. Up against the Florida Panthers, as the winning team will take a 2-1 lead in the best-of-7 Stanley Cup Final. Darnell Nurse was asked about the Florida Panthers forecheck as well.
Their forecheck is obviously an identity of their team, and they're very good at doing it, putting pucks in the right spot and being on top of us as defensemen. I think all of us, I know me and Cooley have talked about it, like we can move pucks better and make better plays, and that'll alleviate some of the stress that we have had to endure, and especially in those second periods. So it's just going back there, making plays, having confidence. Obviously the pucks are going to be dirty and they're going to be on top of us. It's not something that we haven't seen over the course of the year at different points, and it's just going out there, having confidence, making plays, and we know we're very capable of doing it.
So, Jay, let me ask you this. How much of this comes down to tactical decisions by the goaltender or by the coach? How much of this is just you just got to execute and do what you do well?
Oh, I think it's heavily execution.
Yeah.
Is take that extra step, take that extra stride, get back there faster, and have a plan. Right? It just seemed like they were doing a really good job through this entire postseason of not just moving the puck around on when they're being pressured. Even if they've eaten the puck, just eat it and wait for support instead of, hacking it, or rimming it around to an opposing player that's waiting there.
Yeah.
I think it's just an effort thing. It's hard to say. I mean, a lot of times you're getting pinned in your own zone, or you're not able to change. But Florida's very talented at the forecheck. Wouldn't that be one of their fortes?
They're very good at it. And I think the one thing that the Panthers do well. So Jay, let's say you and I are line mates and Jablonski's our third. So we know we can't really include him in the game plan, because it's like, Jablonski, do you even know which net we're shooting at? So let's say, KJ, I'm gonna cross the red line. I'm gonna shoot the puck in.
Yeah,
and you can say, okay, great, Reid. I know I got a forecheck. It's different to say, okay, Reid, if I say, hey, Jay, I'm going to cross the red line and I'm going to shoot the puck in 15 feet to the goaltender's left.
Yeah.
To me, that's what the Panthers do.
Placing it.
I'm not saying they talk exactly that way, but they start the forecheck by putting pucks. I mean, what do they say? When a player or coach says, well, we got to put the puck into an area. They don't want to tell you what that area is, but they're saying we have a planned dump in. We have a planned shoot in, right? They're not saying let's just blindly hack it in, pucks in deep, and go get it. No, they're saying it's almost like a pass, or it's almost like putting the puck to an area of the ice where we know we can create pressure.
Yes.
We know where a soft spot is, or we know where a defenseman might have to handle it on his backhand instead of on a forehand. We've talked about how good the Panthers are, and the Oilers too, at just rimming the puck and already having a forward going to the other side of the ice to pick it up. So I think that is what the Panthers are good at, is finding the areas to effectively shoot the puck in. I know I reference this all the time, but that goal against the Leafs when Marchand flipped the puck diagonally and sort of just to where the icing line is up on the boards, right? It's not quite behind the net. It's not up on the wall. And the Leafs didn't cover that well, right? Because it was kind of a no man's land area of the ice. Florida pressures and they score. So I think that's what the Panthers are good at. They're good at forechecking, and they're good at putting the puck to where they can really set it up. And they have a forechecker. They have a guy who can pressure the puck. And I feel like, especially when they got rolling in the second period, they have a support guy coming in. So it's like, okay, great. Maybe Darnell Nurse or Brett Kulak maneuvered by the first guy, then the other guy goes, right? Or, okay, maybe the other guy got the puck, but he's under duress. He puts it up the wall. That second Florida guy is already in there. That, to me, that's what they're good at. That's where it all starts with them, is sort of an organized forecheck. It's not dumping the puck in just to get it deep into the other team's end and make them skate through you. It's dumping the puck in
or placing
to
the puck
start
in.
something. Yes.
It's like they're placing the puck in the corner.
Right. It's a very organized way to do it.
Which, I mean, that's elite. That takes a lot of, I guess, comprehension to do that in the heat of the battle. And not just say, okay, let's rim this in. Let's go. Yeah, rah, rah, rah. No. To think about it and methodically put it in to the opposing team's zone.
Yes.
That's how great teams become great.
Now, the Oilers can forecheck. And this is the beauty of this series. I mean, we saw with I get the concern we're getting, Florida cranked it up and the Oilers couldn't get the puck out. Well, okay, the shots were 14-2 in the third period of of game one, right? Edmonton did find a way to tie the game, despite Florida checking pretty hard in the third period of last game. So it's an incredibly close series. And I said this to Tom on Friday night because, Tom was saying, there's some Oilers fans who are concerned and saying, well, here we go. Florida's better. Florida's figured it out, or the Oilers aren't going to be able to respond to this. I in no way believe, and if I'm proven wrong, I'll say, I guess I was proven wrong. I in no way believe that the losing team in this series will fall because they crack mentally or emotionally. That will not happen. Or to be like the Leafs where they just fall off the map in two of their last three games. And I'm not saying there couldn't be a game that gets to 3-1 or 4-1 or 5-2. That could happen. But I don't see either team being rattled. And already both teams have suffered crushing losses.
Sure.
But you saw Klingberg come out after the game and saying, okay, well, we lost the game. It's on to the next one. Corey Perry referenced we lost the game in the final second. No, we lost in double overtime. So I don't see certainly it's emotional and there are swings in games, but I don't see a team falling in this series. Say whoever loses tonight, and they're trudging off the ice thinking, "Oh my God,
no,
we're down 2-1. What are we going to do?" Like I just don't see that happening. So it's going to come down to these fine details, late game execution, like the term I've been using. Who can execute at the right time, and maybe who. I mean, the Oilers always use that term, "get to their game." Like whose A game is better, and I think Gager and Hernan were talking about this. I think the Oilers' A game might be a little bit better than the Panthers' A game, quite frankly.
Do you?
But is the Panthers' B game better than the Oilers' B game? You know what I mean? Like, is there a bigger variance in how the Oilers play?
Yes. There's a larger gap between good and poor, whereas Florida is much smaller, I think.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's like a massive gap for the Oilers, but this is how close we're talking about it.
I know, but here's the thing, and this is the factor, Reid. This is the thing that, please, as Oilers fans, keep in the back of your head. The Oilers still have the best 2 players in the NHL on their team.
Yes.
That is something that you can never take away from them. Well, at least not right now. Okay? You can say all you want. You can talk about the forecheck, but all it takes is one crease for either one of those 2 players to make them pay.
Right.
And we've seen it throughout the series. So, and it's not like the Oilers played like crap last game. It's not like they played poor.
No, not at all.
There were some stretches that they got hemmed in, but there were stretches they hemmed Florida in. That's what happens when you have the 2 best teams in the NHL playing against each other.
Yeah.
Right? So it's to be expected. But when you get to that level, having those 2 players on your side might just be the difference that takes you over the top. You have to believe in that. I mean, you've gotten this far off the backs of them leading the other players and the Oilers shining their whole team, but it's still led by McDavid and Draisaitl.
Bermuda Boy in the Nasty Chat says, tonight is a chance for the Oilers to test themselves once again. They have come back after bad losses in the playoffs. For sure they have. Jared, I think, referring to our comments about the team's A and B games, he said, is that offset by the Oilers' inability to crack under pressure versus Florida's? I'd give the Oilers the edge there. It is interesting. Like, a couple of fans chime in and say, like, they're basically saying don't doubt the mental and intestinal fortitude of the Oilers. Now, having said that, I don't really doubt the mental and intestinal fortitude of the Panthers either. But that's why it's hard to imagine a game getting out of hand in this series.
Right.
The Oilers won a game 8-1 last year? I guess it could happen. But it just seems unlikely given how close these 2 teams are. Keep clicking the thumbs up if you're on YouTube. We have made double word of the day. Thank goodness. We need 40 thumbs. We need 40 thumbs. If you're
That's
just coming
peanuts.
in, I think we have some people just joining us here, getting ready for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 5. Give us a thumbs up, and then you can give Tom and Hernan another thumb up between 5 and 6. Hernan's going over there, right? So you can meet Tom and Hernan in person.
Yeah.
At Westgate Boston Pizza. They'll probably sign autographs if you want to.
Hernan doesn't sign autographs.
No. Just says hello.
If that.
Corey says, cheers from, is that Dunfermline? What does that say? Or Dunfermline? I can't see if there's an I there or not, Jay.
Dunfermline, Scotland.
Dunfermline, Scotland. I'm not able to catch the game live as it starts at 1 a.m., but I'll be watching the replay in the morning. That's awesome.
Wow.
That is awesome.
Well, Milne is of Scottish descent.
So maybe there's some relation to your family there. Who knows?
Maybe I have a royal lineage. Maybe that castle's mine.
Let's do Fired Up before the break, and then we'll come back with words of the day and do the song.
Yeah, sure.
Fired Up for Gemco. Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years. The authorized dealer for Napoleon fireplaces, whether it's gas or wood burning. Look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. So Corey retyped the name of the community. Corey, it's not your typing, it's my vision. Or is it Dunfermline?
Oh, Dunfermline.
Dunfermline. Okay.
Talk about a tough one on the tongue.
Yeah. Well,
Dunfermline. Dunfermline.
We'll have to look up where that is.
I'm looking at it.
Where is it?
It's on. It's just across the. What? I guess across the body of water from Edinburgh.
Okay.
So, Scotland. Southern Scotland.
We'll have to go do a show there.
I'm fired up, Reid.
54,000 is the population.
Nice. I'm fired up because I achieved a bit of a goal in my running this weekend.
Nice.
As many of you know, I signed up for a half marathon. I won't say stupidly, but the training has to happen. It has to. So it's been going. It's been going well, but I'm just trying to achieve goals to prepare my body.
Right.
So this week, I've only been training for a couple weeks.
Okay.
So this week was to run straight for a half hour.
Just good. Yeah.
Just go for a half hour. Don't even worry about how far that is, or just run for a half hour.
Okay.
So I did it, and then I ran in my neighborhood, and there's a person that listens to EST. Well, there's probably a few, but
probably hundreds.
Neighbor Danny was out in his lawn picking weeds or doing something, and he saw me. And I can't really talk because I'm running, right? And so I said, yeah, I'm so stupid. I signed up for this half marathon. He says, keep going, man. You got it. He gave me some words of encouragement. So instead of running, I just kept on the loop because I was supposed to turn back at that point.
Okay.
I kept doing the loop. I ran for 40 minutes, Reid. 40 minutes. As he's checking his email.
Well, I'm just checking something. That's okay.
Kind of a dick move.
Well, no, you told me the story too. So you told me you ran probably at least 6K. At least. Maybe 7.
Yeah, maybe 15. I don't know. Could have been whatever. Maybe I was running fast.
Did 15K in 40 minutes? That'd be... I know somebody who claimed to do that once.
I'm fired up because I did this yesterday and I can walk today. So that's good. That makes me excited. What are you fired up about?
Nothing. I have no joy or intensity about anything.
You must be fired up about watching the game.
I'm fired up about this whole week.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know what? Look, maybe the Oilers have a really good week. I'll just leave it there because people don't like when I say too much. The U.S. Open's a great golf tournament to watch. It's Father's Day on Sunday, so hopefully spend some time with my dad. I have been checking out the NBA Finals. That's a fun series to watch. The weather's nice. My vision is improving.
Hey.
It'll probably still be a while before it's totally back to normal, but I'm fired up with 6 weeks tomorrow since the surgery, so...
Been that long already,
bubbles getting a little smaller. So it was 6 weeks today when I was half blind in my left eye.
Under the Kniffy.
Yes. No. So 6 weeks since the detachment happened. 6 weeks tomorrow was the surgery.
Really?
Yes. So that was Game 5 of LA back in the first round. Who remembers that? I'm just trying to be in a good mood because I've not always been in a good mood in the last 6 weeks. You have fully had to bear the brunt of that.
Yeah, right. It's hard if you don't have
hopefully mostly off show, but yeah,
it's hard if you don't have your eyesight. I can't imagine. I've never had that. I've never.
Well, my eyesight, my eyesight is not normal, but I think it's probably getting as close to normal as it's going to get, and then I have to get new glasses.
How many fingers am I holding up?
2. I can see that.
Oh, baby!
Well, hold on. Do it again. Oh yeah, I can see that.
There you go.
So the left eye still needs some work and probably a new lens in the glasses, but it's encouraging today. All right, we need 30 thumbs in 12 minutes. Get in there and click. Jasmine, you got to lead the charge here. You got to implore people. Remind them to click. We'll do a timeout here. The Cougs got a sports update raring to go. Then we got double word of the day, and we'll do the playoff song at the end of the show. And then Tom and Hernan take over at 5. Sound fair?
Yep.
All right, go ahead, Coop.
Edmonton hits the ice in South Florida with the series notched at 1 apiece between the Oilers and Panthers entering Game 3. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is a game-time decision and will take warm-ups. Jeff Skinner on standby to take his spot if he can't go tonight. Well, for Florida, they'll sit Jesper Boquist in favor of AJ Greer, who makes his Stanley Cup Final debut. Tom Gazzola, Hernan Salas to get you set for the action during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show live from Boston Pizza Westgate. Tune in at 5 only on EST. Stanley Cup champion TJ Oshie has officially announced his retirement. He played 16 NHL seasons split between the Blues and the Capitals, playing over 1,000 regular season games. MLB action has 9 games, including the Jays facing the Cardinals. That one gets going at 5:45. Jose Barrios takes the mound for Toronto. Andre Palante for the Cards. Elsewhere, the Dodgers battle the Padres. Milwaukee plays Atlanta. And the Phillies match up with the Cubs. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring, proudly serving Edmonton and area for over 30 years. Their West End showroom is open 7 days a week. You can also shop online at ParamountFlooring.ca. The final segment of the Reid Wilkins Show is what brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Timeout Edmonton. The new Play Alberta app has arrived, and it's here to make your gambling experiences more fun, exciting, and secure. Enjoy the convenience of hundreds of casino games, betting live on your favorite sports teams, and access to lotteries all in one place, anywhere in Alberta. Enter code YEG50 to receive a $50 free bet when you make a $5 minimum deposit. That's a $50 free bet for new and existing users using code YEG50. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Keep your team jersey and rally towel close by and help bring the championship home. For all your other treasures, store them with Sentinel Storage. Store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
All right, I think we just annoyed Coop. It's like, are these guys going to be ready or not? What are they doing? What are they doing?
We've had a surge in thumbs, Reid. We can do it.
Well, here's Zach to the Future from Friday. That can be recycled. All right, we need 20 thumbs to get to 200. I'm not sure we're going to do it. I guess we're not going to do it. Oh, well. Just remember that if your favorite hockey team doesn't win tonight. That you didn't give us a thumbs up on the show. Just remember that.
Snap.
That's all I'm saying.
I mean, it shouldn't be hard.
Big rally late. There's people hopping in to see Tom. Give this show a thumbs up, then give the next show at 5 o'clock a thumbs up. Let's get rolling.
Can you guys just do this for Reid, just so he can't go home? I mean,
I'm probably going to go home dejected anyway because I'm going to fail words of the day. I'm going to be sitting there all by myself watching Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. In a little dark room, my black and white television. All right. Let's get, double word of the day. We did get double word of the day, so that's good.
The word of the day with Reid and Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Let's find out.
English, do you speak it? Then you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
You're listening to it right now. All right.
First word of the day. Carillon.
Carillon. Well,
Carillon.
I've never heard this word before. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know if it starts with a K or a C. Carillon?
Carillon.
Well, I'll take a guess. Caralon. Of course, it's wrong. Tuba.
Carillon.
Oh. Oh.
I can use it in a sentence. if you need.
What's that word for like dead meat? Like dead animal meat?
Carcass?
I thought there was another thing that meant...
This is not it.
Okay, give me the sentence.
The campus's carillon hadn't been played in decades until it was restored last year.
So it's some kind of an instrument. I'll say it's a large organ-like instrument.
A set of bells hung in a tower and played using a keyboard or pedals.
What? I should have known that. I think I had heard that word before.
You seem to have
214 thumbs. Whoa. We had like a 30-thumb rally in the last 2 minutes. That's incredible, everybody.
That just made this man's day.
Now I'll pay attention to the game tonight.
Wow. Well, this one here, Reid.
What are the Play Alberta codes for Tom? EST Casino and EST Sports?
Yes.
But you got to put in $20, Tom, and then put the codes in.
Hang on.
He probably knows.
I'll tell you what they are right now.
He probably knows that if he's asking. Carrion is the carcass dead meat.
Ah.
That's what I was thinking of. Hey, Coop.
Who asked for the codes? Oh, Tom Bueller.
Tom in the nasty chat.
Okay, so it's EST Casino. That's $20 or more for a $50 casino credit.
Yeah.
And EST Sports, deposit $20 or more for a $50 free bet. So those are good for new and existing customers.
In the month of June.
In the month of June.
Okay.
Second word of the day, cataract.
You're kidding me.
I don't plan this.
A cataract, C-A-T-A-R-A-C-T, and a cataract is something that forms on the lens of the eye. I believe it's sort of a hardening of the lens that can lead to vision problems.
Look,
because I have them. That's next after the
retina. I can't show you this
fine.
because I can't give you away. But do you know what today's word of the day was? So usually on Mondays I get away with it a bit because we're not here Saturdays or Sundays. So I have 3 words to choose from.
Oh, perfect.
So today's word of the day was eloquent.
Well, that's like well-spoken.
Yeah.
E-L-O-Q-U-E-N-T.
I had a choice of cataract and another one, which I'm going to save for later this week.
Oh.
But I thought, given the topic of eye, and you're fired up because you're almost there, buddy, I thought I'd give you something you were close to.
Well, I'm closer than I was 6 weeks ago. All right. Cataract. So what is the exact definition? It's a hardening of the lens,
nailed it.
Right?
Cataract refers to a clouding of the lens of the eye or its surrounding transparent membrane that obstructs the passage of light.
Right. Because that's what I know. And when I was getting my retinas looked at, they said I have cataracts in both eyes.
Did you know this, though? Cataract is also used often in literature to refer to a waterfall, steep rapids in a river, or a downpour or flood.
It's like a type of...
in literature, a waterfall, rapids in a river, or a downpour.
Oh, Todd put that in the nasty chat. And Jared says, cataract, a scene in a play featuring mainly feline characters. That's hilarious.
Oh.
That is hilarious.
Well done.
We had 218 thumbs. What are we at? Boy, oh boy, people rallied.
Wow.
Oh, 224.
That bodes well, folks.
Well, now Draisaitl might get those 2
there
goals.
There you go.
All right. So we're done. Here's the playoff song. Let's go win the Stanley to the tune of Pour Some Sugar on Me. Tom Gazzola, Hernan Zales. He's a zealous Salas. Live from Westgate BP at 5 until 6 for the Oil Stream GCL Diesel pregame show. On behalf of Zachary Kubish and Jason Milne, I'm Reid. Enjoy the game.
Place to play, honestly. So much history. These fans. It's great to hear their sport.
Wrestling in the desert every single night. Gloves coming up, baby, gonna be a fight. 6 games, 5 games, how about a sweep? Ticket prices, yeah, they're gonna be steep, yeah! Yeah! Come on! It's the playoffs! Crank it up! It's the playoffs! Take the cup! Let's go win the Stanley! Gotta get the cup! Let's go win the Stanley! Come on, lift it up! Let's go win the Stanley! Waited long enough! It's time, no more wait! For the oil, it's the fate, yeah! Listen, first gear, second gear,
clear third gear go. McDavid 97 needs a one-man show. Draisaitl, Iverson, gotta love the nude. Bruce Skinner and Picks need to be huge. Be huge. Be huge. They gotta squeeze a little, squeeze a little, squeeze a little more. Get the bottom six to find a way to score. One time, overtime, gotta find a way. Jam-packed moss pit going insane. Yeah! Yeah! Cheer a little more. It's the playoffs. Crank it up. It's